Hello, I'm Steve with Silver Homes Real Estate in Spokane, Washington. Welcome to Ask a Realtor. I'm a full-time realtor, and of course, helping people selling, investing, and buying homes is my focus every day. But there's so much more to life than just selling real estate 24/7. So I created this series with the goal of enriching others. I'll introduce you to colleagues who can educate and share their knowledge on real estate related topics. I'm going to introduce local Spokane business people, as well as interesting characters and their stories. My hope is that you learn something, see things through a new lens, and possibly be entertained along the way. So, let's get started. This week we have a great guest, Robyn Baird with Sierra Pacific Mortgage. Her background in residential lending and knowledge are valuable to anybody thinking about buying, investing, or even selling real estate. Robyn, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Before we jump into the meat of this topic, let's get to know you better. Where did you grow up?
I've been born and raised in Spokane, Washington.
Wow.
So
Whole life, huh?
whole life.
Nice.
Whole life. There was a little period of 6 months where I left and moved to Clarkston, but moved back.
Okay.
Very
So
glad
you've
I did.
seen some amazing changes then for
Yes.
the town.
Yes.
Are you shocked at what Spokane's become?
I'm not shocked. I'm excited for what Spokane's become. I think it's growing. I think there are new opportunities, job opportunities. I think there's new culture coming. I think we're expanding our parks. I think there's job opportunities. I think it's very exciting for Spokane.
Excellent. Yeah, I've been here since 2002, and it's the growth is just amazing. And I agree with everything you said. It's a great place to be.
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
more people are coming every day.
And you're probably seeing that with the relocation
Mhm.
traffic as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've helped people relocate from Tokyo and Kansas with the Air Force. But I also have people buying all the time from Seattle area, Portland, Southern California, Texas, Washington, D.C. So more than half of the people I sell homes to actually come from somewhere else. Now, what do you do when you're not working?
Love spending time with family, friends. We have, 56 lakes to choose from within our area. Love spending time at the lake, hiking, walking, kayaking, paddleboarding, anything to do with the lake.
I heard you're an excellent paddleboarder.
Excellent.
Is that true?
If I don't fall off, yes.
Great. Now let's turn to mortgage lending and learn more about the process and things to look for in your experiences. So how long have you been a mortgage lender?
I've been in the financial world for 23 years. So with that came consumer lending, mortgage lending. I've been doing mortgage lending specifically since 2004.
Okay.
So quite a long time, kind of a vast knowledge in the area.
Excellent. Now, so many of us in real estate related jobs start our careers in other industries. So what skills did you learn in your previous jobs that you find that you bring to this job?
My career path has led me full circle. I started in banking when I was 18, got my degree, put myself through college, got my degree in organizational communications, went into marketing for 10 years, 5 years with a local credit union, 5 years with the hospitality industry. That led me back to my financial career in the mortgage lending in 2004. And I feel like all of the opportunities that I had in sales, marketing, business development, all got to be applied to being able to do what I do now and make it successful.
Right. Yeah, I've got a career in sales and marketing, business development as well. The one thing I found, it's really customer service. That a lot of people don't think about that, being a lender, being a realtor, there's so much customer service that goes into it. So many people just think, you're there at the beginning, you're there at the end, but it's really being able to respond to people and clients and their needs and to ask the question and sometimes even just kind of draw them in and bring them down the path. So
absolutely. And I think that's where communication in general is important and having a good team.
Right. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
With so many mortgage products available, how do you determine which product is best for a client?
The best way to determine is to be a good listener, to sit down, get all the facts, find out what their specific wants and needs are, keep all options open, have a full portfolio, conventional, FHA, VA, manufactured home, construction, and even grant loans, maybe for 100% financing. I think what you do is take all the information, narrow it down to the best possible options, and then give them the facts. That way they can make an educated decision on which product works better for them.
Right. Yeah, grant loans are interesting. I've got a couple clients right now that are getting some nice gifts from the state to help them get into their first house that a lot of people aren't aware about.
Absolutely, and you have to be licensed and able to do those loans as a lender, and I think it's important that we have those options available. And it used to be for first-time home buyers only. It's not even just for first-time home buyers anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Great. Before writing an offer, how far in advance should somebody start discussing mortgages with a professional?
It's never too soon, never too soon. You can start a year in advance, 6 months in advance, a month, a week. It depends on the situation. If there are contingencies, maybe people need to work through some credit issues, maybe they need to sell a home, maybe they're building a home. All of those can take time, and there is no reason not to get all of that information gathered and assessed in order to move forward with pre-approval.
Okay. In Spokane, we've been in a seller's market for some time and expect that to continue for the foreseeable future. How does that impact buyers, and what should they expect when they start making offers?
The market is moving very, very fast, as you know. To be competitive, they need to have a pre-approval in hand. And I think it's important to have a full pre-approval if possible, so that we've looked at their income, assets, credit history, not just maybe pulling the credit, because they're not going to be as competitive with other offers. If they want that dream home that they absolutely love, it's so important to have all of those details in place.
Right. Absolutely. The sooner you can start thinking about those things, and even from a standpoint of having a letter.
Absolutely.
You know, just writing a personal letter, I've seen that be the difference sometimes with the buyer when there's multiple buyers and somebody went out and wrote that personal letter. And I always recommend a client do that. It's not required, but you know, you try to tie things in. You know, did that with a military family, walked in, and obviously we were buying from a military family, from another pilot, and we used that in the letter. The clients, you know, made that connection. I think it really helped, made the transition go smoother, probably got the offer accepted even faster.
And it helps as a lender to call the list agent on those transactions and let the list agent know where that buyer is. If
Right.
it's a full pre-approval, maybe it's not just the credit pull, but the full pre-approval. And when you tell them where you're at with the client with all the information, they're more apt to accept that offer.
Right.
So I think the letters and along with the full pre-approval absolutely help.
Now you bring up something interesting. You said when you're calling the listing agent, how often does a listing agent call you when they receive an offer?
And that's a good question. This year, I would say 90 to 95% of the time. In the past, not as much, but in this market that's moving fast and in our world of quick mortgage lending, I think they've received offers that maybe aren't the full offers, and they want to make sure that that's the case for their
Right.
buyer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, from a listing agent side, obviously, you know, we want to make sure that you actually engage with the client, because there are so many lenders out there who will just do a quick pre-qualify without taking much more information than person's name and the address of the property. So it's very important for me or my sellers to know that the offer on the table is legitimate and it's tight, because you don't want to pick the wrong offer and find that out weeks down the road.
Absolutely. And the control freak in me makes sure that I'm also processing my files to make sure all of that's in place. So I think that's helpful for the team when you're building a team, knowing how the other one works and how you can work for your client in the best possible manner.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's been the most rewarding experience that you've had as a lender?
The most rewarding, and I was reminded of it just recently, I have a borrower who wrote me a personal letter. She was a first-time home buyer buying on her own. I met her probably 6 years ago. She wrote me a personal letter thanking me for going through the process with her step by step and answering all questions. There are no bad questions ever. Giving her the facts. She's a very fact-oriented person to know exactly what worked best for her.
Excellent.
Now I've done a refinance and then a purchase for her and her husband, and I'm hoping that means that they're forever clients.
Yeah.
I think that's super rewarding.
Yeah, that's so important, because obviously in this business we can't just go transaction to transaction. You know, you will run yourself into the ground doing that. So it's nice to build those repeat clients, and obviously referrals.
Absolutely.
How much of your business would you say are through referrals?
So realtor referrals versus personal referrals, I would say it's about 50-50, but it really depends on the market too. If we're in a refinance market, that probably goes up in a year to maybe 70, 80, even sometimes up to 90%.
Wow.
So if it's a purchase market, then of course it weighs more heavily on the purchase side. So it really depends on the market, but I think overall I'm really fortunate to have about a 50-50 business.
Okay. So when referrals go up to 90%, does that mean you get more time on the paddleboard, or?
Well, our lifestyle is kind of our work is our lifestyle. It's a 24/7. So maybe I'm taking a call on the paddleboard.
There's nothing wrong
Right?
with that. Technology is a great thing. So how would you describe Spokane to somebody who's interested in the area but's never been here?
I think Spokane is a growing environment. I think we've got new jobs. I think we've got new growth. I think we've got culture being introduced that we've never had before. I think there are opportunities for people to enjoy Broadway series, our parks, local artists that are getting to perform and or even paint. I think it's pretty fantastic. I think that the jobs that we've created with Amazon coming in, with some with the Airway Heights area growing, our outlying areas growing, I think it's just a fantastic place for family, for opportunity. I think our schools are fantastic, and I think that we have 4 seasons, which gives someone always something to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you're tired of one season, you're tired of the cold, you get into your spring season. Or
Ready for that change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I can't think of a better place to live, and I think that's what keeps me here.
Yeah, it's definitely a special place. I explain it to people, if they come to an open house or a new client who hasn't been here before, basically that Spokane is like a big city without the congestion, with a much better quality of life,
Absolutely.
and a much better cost of living as well. So the one thing I think people really give up here, but not living in a big city, is professional sports. But at the same time, if you would like to go fly to a big city, drive to a big city once a month to get your fix of football, baseball, basketball, hockey, you could still do that and have a lower cost of living here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you always have your college sports,
A lot of college sports around here.
which is good.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Always good. Go Eags, right?
Go Eagles.
Go Eags.
Cheers.
So we worked together, recently closed 2 transactions, and we have a great professional relationship. How important do you feel relationships are among professionals, in the transaction process?
Very important. I think it's the key component to getting your borrower or client's trust. I think if you've covered all your bases, it just makes the transaction go as smooth as possible. And some transactions are easy, some are way more difficult, but being able to work through those together and having each other's back as a team makes it easier on everyone, including the buyer.
Right.
Our transaction was an out-of-town buyer where you were able to help them through media to get them into their house, and as long as we knew exactly what the details were of the transaction, I felt that it made it go that much smoother.
Yeah, that was a little different. Client never seen the house and basically doing FaceTime videos with them out of state through the different houses. But yeah, the other thing I find too is when you have that relationship, we remove the stress for the client.
Absolutely.
So we can have those conversations peer to peer and work things out without having to worry the client about it, because it might be something minor that could freak out a client.
Absolutely.
And we don't want that to happen. And I actually had this experience with another client I just helped buy up in Deer Park. They moved here from Iowa and relocated. And they told me at the closing table that they wish I could have been the person to sell their home in Iowa, because of how laid back and how just even keeled I was and how I removed the stress for them. And that was really rewarding to actually hear that from them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that was the feedback we got from our last transaction as well. They were very thankful that we were able to make that process less stressful on their family.
Right. Robyn, it's random question time. Outside of Spokane, where's your happy place?
My happy place is Deer Lake. It's 45 minutes from my home, north of Spokane. Absolutely love it.
Great. It's a nice place. Been there a few times.
Been there a few times.
Been there a few times. So let me ask you this. If you were an animal, what animal would best be suited to be a mortgage lender?
So my answer on that one would be an owl, because they're all knowing and wise. And I would hope that the years of experience in this business have given me that to share with my clients. I would say that would be the animal that would probably best suit. The regulations are always changing, the rules are always changing. It's something that you want to keep up on, something that you want to be kept in the loop on. So, yeah.
Great. Well, that's a wrap for Ask a Lender. Thank you to Robyn Baird with Sierra Pacific Mortgage for joining us today. And if you have any questions, would like to reach Robyn, her contact information will be on the screen in a moment.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate the time.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for watching Silbar Homes. Please let us know if we can help you with buying, selling, or investing. Have a great day.